Hey guys, how we doing? Another beautiful Monday morning. I hope you all had a good weekend. I definitely did. On Friday, I did a video looking at open banking in relationship to banking as a service. And today I want to do another video talking a little bit more about open banking, but this time specifically towards the banks out there across the world. I've had a lot of discussions with banks around specifically the developer portal and sandbox environments around open banking. Remember, open banking is about predominantly banks making data available to their customers or to a wider community through third parties. So what they want to do is to create APIs where a developer community can take advantage of those APIs to develop new solutions and services utilizing those. I think the most common one that we've seen to date is account aggregation, the ability for us as a consumer to maybe see our financial standing across multiple accounts at multiple banks, and that's utilizing some of the default APIs that were specified in the PSD2 regulations for open banking. Now, in a lot of discussions that I'm having with the banks, they are focused on how they can monetize the APIs on their open banking, or how can they charge for the use of their APIs and therefore draw some sort of return on investment from the developer community. And I think the question is wrong, or maybe the thinking process is wrong for most of the banks. They're used to developing a product that they can then sell to a consumer, or they can draw revenue from that directly from a consumer. But in open banking, you're dealing with an intermediary, the developer, and you need to entice the developer to be active in utilizing your APIs and therefore drive value out of your APIs. Which means that to the bank, they should really be focusing on how they can draw revenue or monetize on the end customer with the developer as a partner, rather than charging the developer or getting some sort of financial return directly from the developer. I mean, I'll give you an easy example. PayPal does not charge a website for putting its Pay with PayPal button on the website. It gets its return from the end customer that utilizes the Pay using PayPal button on the website. Right? And it has to be the same thing. The developer becomes your partner. But then here comes the next issue. It's not just enough to develop a whole lot of APIs and putting them out there. Banks, again, are very used to an inside-out approach on most things. Open banking becomes an outside-in approach, where really it is the external developer community that is going to help you to drive that expansion. So how do you then entice the developer to be active and to give him some form of stickiness to continue wanting to develop with you? Well, that's just the point, develop with you. And I think this is again where most banks are failing. What they need to do is to do an outreach program. They need to partner with the developers. They need to get active with the developers and collaborate with them on what functionality and services should be put into these APIs. What is it that the developer needs past just having the APIs? I worked with a bank here in the Nordics that were very, very good at doing this. They were fantastically good at reaching out to the developer community and making them a part of the process of improving the APIs and giving the developers what they needed to be able to deliver capabilities and services to the customers that the bank can then monetize on the customer utilizing the data and the services. So critical, really important message to the banks. Figure out how to engage the developer community, keep them engaged and make them feel empowered, to basically give them stickiness to want to continue working with you as a bank. I want to look at doing that in more detail, then I'd be glad to have that discussion with you. It is a nuance. It is about embracing a platform business model and understanding how to drive a positive network effect. Great discussion. I know it's a change in business model from banks, but it's the future. The banking industry will be dominated by platforms in the future. Hope you've enjoyed that. Talk to you again in a couple of days' time.